Today, we're going to talk about how you can increase your revenue by 200% this 2024. For those of you who do not know me, my name is Migo. I've spent the past 10 years generating over 500 million pesos worth of revenue across multiple businesses using digital marketing and digital sales strategies. We also run an agency right now, and we've gotten our best client over a 200x return on their ad spend. So in 2019, my sales team and I were selling a mentorship program for 14,000 pesos, and we were getting around 5 sales per week. But when we added the strategy that I'm going to be sharing today, we were able to increase our sales from 5 per week to as high as 15 per week. And ultimately, this led to us being able to sell over 2,000 units of that course, generating over 20 million pesos worth of revenue. Today, I'm going to walk you through exactly how we did that step by step and how you can do it too. What we're going to be doing today is we're going to add a strategy on top of increasing the demand in order for us to maximize the output that we can get. And that is by decreasing the supply. How are we going to do that? First way is by increasing scarcity. Second is by increasing urgency. All marketing works to influence this supply and demand curve. And this is how you are able to maximize your output. Okay, so by adding impulse drivers, instead na nandito yung demand, mapupush siya towards here. What we are also doing by decreasing the supply is we are pushing the supply line a little bit more to the left. The supply line will be here. What that does is it increases the positioning of the equilibrium point, justifying a higher price in the market. When we learn how to influence both the demand, which we've been doing for the past couple of videos, and the supply, which we're going to be doing today, we are able to increase the value of our product maximally. Now, if we take a look at the real world, specifically the watch industry, we're gonna see this supply and demand come into play. Seiko is mostly a watch brand that creates good quality watches in mass volumes. They do have luxury brands like Credor and Grand Seiko, but mostly sa volume sila lumalaban. They are good quality watches nonetheless. Si Rolex naman focuses on adding more complications to their watch, which make it more valuable. And in many times, they decrease the supply of their watches. Sometimes, if you want a brand new Rolex, you have to wait list in the outlet that you're gonna buy from, and sometimes that wait list is for years. But essentially, they are the same product. A bit of technological nuances and brand positioning is all. When you look at a specific price point, like for example, 100,000 pesos, for a normal Seiko, 100,000 pesos is relatively expensive. But if you are able to find a 100,000 peso Rolex, what would people say? That Rolex is incredibly cheap. This just basically highlights how supply and demand and good brand positioning influences customer valuation and market price. Here's what I need you to understand. More volume does not necessarily mean higher valuation. In fact, more often than not, it's the opposite. So how can we use this in our business? Fundamentally, if we are able to keep on increasing the value of a product while constantly decreasing the supply of a product, or until a strategic point, we can keep incrementally increasing its value. Scarcity is a function of quantity. Ilan na lang yung natitira. Urgency is a function of time. How long do you have left in order to purchase the product? These two work hand in hand. When limited na lang yung natitirang product, and at the same time, onti na lang yung oras para mabili yung product, this psychologically triggers desperation and fear of missing out within people. It increases their impulse to buy the product all the more. The fear of loss is a greater motivator than the prospect of gain. In our minds, lost opportunity is more expensive than potential opportunity. This is exactly what my sales team and I did. Technically, we had unlimited supply because what we were offering was a digital product. However, we had a limited number of coaches that were able to teach one-to-one. So instead of our marketing being, this is a nice product, you can buy whenever you want, we tweaked our messaging to, if you are part of the first 10 people who buy within 24 hours, you will get a 50% discount in comparison to the value of the actual product, plus you get bonuses. This skyrocketed our sales. Now, if you want to implement this into your own business, the basic formula is simple. The core messaging is just we have X available units for Y available time. And if you purchase within this time, you get Z incentives or bonuses. So this is the core or basic formula, but there are many iterations you can make, and we're gonna walk through some of them. Then baka may maisip ka pang bagong pwedeng idagdag na scarcity/urgency strategy for your business. Okay, so what are examples of strategies? The first example is you can limit quantity. How this would sound some marketing would be reserve your spot now. There are only 5 seats left. Or buy within the next 24 hours and get our limited edition sneakers or product. So pwede natin isipin what are products in our inventory that we can offer in limited quantities? Or are there products that we can create limited edition versions of? Next example would be time constraints. So an example for the messaging of this would be don't miss out on our 48-hour sale. So pwede dito mga limited time offer, pwede rin dito flash sale. So pwede natin isipin, can we implement flash sales or LTOs with the current inventory that we have? Or are there specific seasons that are impending that it would be good to leverage off that season in order to push remaining inventory? That's something that we can also think about. Next, we have exclusive access. This is also known as VIP access. An example of marketing would be purchase your VIP tickets now, 5 seats left, and get a free meet and greet. Questions to ask: can you offer VIP access or exclusive memberships? Or what special perks can you offer to a specific group of customers? All right, next we have special events. Visit us at Comic-Con and get exclusive merchandise in that event. Questions: are there events where you can offer specific merchandise? Or are there impending holiday or industry events that you can tie in special offers with? Now, the last two are related to the function of quantity, but they are a bit more specific. For number 5, we have first come, first serve strategy. Example would be one of the first 50 customers to get our new product at a very special price. Good question to ask would be, how can you incentivize early action to be taken with a first come, first serve offer? Or what other benefits can you provide for the first group of customers? And finally, we have inventory countdown. Example nito would be grab our last 10 remaining items before we run out. Good questions to ask. Can you display your inventory level in order to create a sense of urgency? Or how can you effectively communicate what items are about to sell out? All right, so you can go through this exercise with your team. It shouldn't take more than 1 hour. If you have never done this before, I highly recommend you do so. All right, so before we end, just a bonus tip. It's better to sell out consistently than oversupply, because you're gonna fail to create scarcity when you do. So I suggest limiting the supply of your product to an amount that you are actually confident is going to sell out. And once it sells out, you have to let everyone know na sold out siya. This way, even yung mga tao that were on the fence have now stronger social proof to purchase kasi nag-sell out na siya. And if you are able to successfully implement this again and again and again, it stacks in its effectiveness. All right, so that is it for today's video. If you got value from what you learned, do consider liking and subscribing so that you can see more videos like this. In our next video, we are going to go through how you can actually market your irresistible offer. Until then, have a great day and see you in the next video.